time and money actually answering stupid questions where you could phone and ask them. So I think there are times when you can actually get the information without having to resort into process. A little bit about some of the technicalities. That it helps if you know as much as the person at the other end how to reply. It makes life so much easier. And then the next two we're going to do kind of the wrong way around. I'm going to talk a wee bit about the timeline of how the whole thing kind of works. And then I'm going to use TransLink as a bit of an example, as a case study. Some of you in the room have kind of been involved in the whole idea of trying to get some of the timetable information and bus stop routes and stuff. Like TransLink, Code for Pizzas, and trying to build iPhone applications and stuff in the back of it. There was an FOI went in to try and get all that information. And we're going to use a wee bit of a reply to kind of try and explain what they actually meant and the legalese that they came back with. And then there's, just to finish off with, so the last two really do seem in the wrong order, but how you might actually ask for this stuff. What are some of the phrases that make it easier? What are some of the techniques to actually get an answer as opposed to 20 days of your life lost? So we're going to really start with your rights. So Freedom of Information, the Act is the 2000 Act, and it basically says that an individual or an organisation has the right to request information from a public authority, so not from a bank, so mind you, the public seem to own half the banks, not from a kind of commercial company, not from Tesco, but if there's public money going into it, and it's like kind of a public body, and there is a list that actually says what most of these public bodies are, then you have a right to have some kind of accountability back from them of the information. Now, if it's a commercial company, then the annual reports, some of the reports that they produce would give you some of the information that you might be wanting anyway, whereas public bodies don't produce the same type of reports quite often. However, many of them do produce minutes of meetings that are held in the public. Some of them don't always put them online, so you can't get at them easily. Apparently in old-fashioned days, you used to go to people's offices and ask them for stuff, whereas we now all expect everything online. So that's where the right comes from. And the whole basic premise is that the authority must confirm two things. So within 20 days, with various things that change what the 20 days would be, they're meant to confirm whether or not they hold the information or not. So the first thing is, you've asked them, how much do you spend on pizza in the Northern Ireland office? So they have to confirm whether or not they know that. And then, if they know it, they have to tell you. Or give you a really jolly good reason why they can't tell you. Because it would be national security if you knew how much pizza we bought. So that's the kind of thing. So they must tell you if they have it or not, and then they must try and release the information. The little blue thing is the Information Commissioner's Office. They're a really friendly bunch. They believe in freedom and openness. Their helpline is to be recommended because most of the people on it seem to be complete libertarians and give you very good advice. And although they can't advise in individual cases, they pretty much do in terms of the kind of generic examples that they come up with of what you might ask, or how you would deal with somebody who's been a bit obstructive and not actually answering stuff. So the twice that I've rung them have been, it's been really valuable, 3 minutes, and they answer the phone really quickly. So how do you avoid using it? So try phoning. A lot of public organisations are dead keen that people actually understand what they're doing. And there are individuals within them that actually want to share that stuff and don't mind. So if you can phone them, if you can meet them, if you can bump into them, if you can email them, quite often with a very casual kind of a query, they'll come back with the answer. Quite often their website may already hold the stuff. Belfast City Council should be applauded at this point because they have some weaknesses, but actually the amount of information that they publish about how decisions are made, the kind of background that went into decisions and things, there's an enormous amount there. If their search engine was slightly better, you could find it. But if you kind of troll through and are pretty persistent, pretty much most of the stuff you'd ever want to know is there. So they get big thumbs up from me. A lot of other councils make it very difficult as a public body to actually discover more than the very minimum that they're willing to kind of tell you. So yeah, I think you should try and ask. Quite often, we'll come to it later, but quite often FOI just comes out of you asking a question and then going, need to think seriously before I answer that, and in their mind it becomes an FOI, whereas you just thought you were asking a question. Two places maybe related to the last talk as well. Starting to get government initiatives and kind of assembly initiatives and so on to actually say, you know what, the public money goes into generating a lot of stats and a lot of information, and maybe the public should have access to that. So the Ordnance Survey in GB, not NI, which is a separate one, so it has actually had to release quite a lot of its map data. Now it doesn't release the very bottom level, which can still make a lot of money even selling people very detailed maps. But a lot of the higher level stuff, they've had to open up and say, listen, we can make this available, public money generated it, the public should be able to use it. And that can be quite powerful. There's an argument that says the Royal Mail should actually make a postcode file, which they charge businesses a large amount of money to actually get access to and keep up to date and so on. But actually some of that.
As a clarification, there is, and I haven't had a look at it, but the Orphan Survey data does have one data set that has some postcode information in there, and it seems to be not just the basic stuff.
Yeah, so there's mixes, you can get postcodes and some of them. Yeah. But there's starting to be this initiative of actually opening up data. And I think the new coalition government may well continue that plan. In Northern Ireland, DFP had an Open Data NI initiative. It seems to have stalled a bit because it hasn't really done anything in the last couple of months. But
what are the Tories talking about? Having Freedom of Data Act, about the freedom of information.
It's probably not a priority over the first couple of years. But so there is some stuff in Northern Ireland starting to kind of release the Oral Health report about something. So there's starting to be some data that actually might actually get produced and you won't have to ask for it. So worth checking out. Moving on, so the next few slides are quite fast, but basically if you're in a public sector organisation, some of you probably work for them, that you will end up with a thing called a model publication scheme. So effectively when FOI came out, when the Act first came out, people got to define what it was. They got to make up all this stuff themselves. And now the ICO have actually brought in some kind of standard stuff and said, you know what, the who, what, how, their lists and services, those are the kind of things that every public organisation should probably be making available. And so by signing up to the thing, they're basically saying, you know, we say that we're going to do that and we commit that we'll make that kind of class of information available. So it kind of makes the whole thing much more straightforward. They are signed up to produce stuff. But that's very high level, so they end up producing something called a definition document, which actually says, of those classes of information, here's the examples. So for a council, you know, who they are and what they do. So the definition document will say, we'll have published a list of councillors, contact details, and how many votes they got. And that's then guaranteeing there's some information you'll not even have to ask for it, it will be there. And then they have to say how that's available. So is it available by walking up to Castlereagh headquarters and knocking the door and saying, can I see it? Is it available online? And the ICO say, should have all of this online as well as available in libraries. Kind of places old-fashioned. Kind of civilians went to kind of go and find out all this information. You may also start to find that they talk about the fees. So if there's lots of photocopying, they can start to say, you know, we'll charge 10p a page. On the other hand, if you ask for it to be emailed to you, they can't really charge you for an email. So